Hello everyone, we're back today. I did some things off stream, but I'm mostly happy about fixing the lag that we're facing while moving things in edit mode. And after some research, I found on Reddit that if you have some unbaked simulations, because we did some clothing simulations in the early streams, that if you have it unbaked, that can affect I don't know, the lag during the performance during edit mode, because we were fine, like rotating around the building and stuff like this was fine. It was just the edit mode was suffering, and eventually what I did was like I just opened the dope sheet. I picked everything, and whatever keyframes I had, I just deleted it, and suddenly everything went back to normal. Also, something that also affected a bit the performance, but not as quite as this one, is that I moved these into instance collections instead of having them as separate collections. So now, if you look at the ACs in here, you have one main AC unit, which is the one that you can edit. Like this is the parts. It's hidden like on the origin of the world, and all of these are just you press Shift A, you go to collection instances, and then you pick the one that's called AC outdoor templates, and then you can just create as many as you want out of it. I did this for the ACs. I did this for the satellites. I did this for like these two satellites, and I did this for the wheels. The wheels were suffering as well. And now I can just move the wheels around, create more copies for the wheels without having to worry about all of this stuff. And it's making working with the file much more fun. Okay, so since we already duplicated it, you know what, let's have it in here. Okay, so what are we doing? If this is the first time that you joined this stream, we're working on a bigger projects where I'm doing 3D scenes or like sketches and then 3D scenes from my city, inspired from my city. Later on, once we do like a couple of scenes from this, about this, then we're gonna maybe add some elements to it, like dystopian fantasy and stuff like this. I'm not sure why we have this. All of this is documented on my Patreon. All the assets will be for free on my Patreon. Everything on my Patreon is for free anyways. We have a paid membership for $5 per month, just if you want to support the things that I'm doing. Later on, they're gonna be like, of course, like a couple of months later, we're gonna have some dedicated assets or like content for the paying members, of course. But for now, everything's for free. And you can read more about the project over there. I don't want to like bore you with this stuff. So for this building, it's gonna be like in the background. If you've never seen the scene, it's gonna be something maybe like this. Yeah, this is what we're gonna see out of it. Probably maybe less, maybe like this. Depends on the camera view. It's a building back in the background, but I'm detailing it from all the sides. I'm trying not to be too heavy with everything. Till now, it's around 200. It's less than 200,000 polygons. It is around 400,000 triangles. Okay, it's not technically a game asset or a low poly game asset. It can be like a AAA game asset or like a PlayStation game asset if you don't want to call it AAA. But it's not like a low poly asset. It's not the purpose. It's not also 3D printable. So I'm detailing it because I'm gonna put it as an asset on my Patreon. Anyways, that's all most of what I want to talk about now. I just want to see why do I have white bleeding through the faces. I think it's just a rendering issues. That's nothing, probably. Yeah, it's probably nothing. So Alt H to unhide everything. So off stream, I did unwrapping and texturing for one of these curtains. They have the same material, so this got assigned to it. So the first thing I want to do is to show you how to recreate this in the UV space. So what should we do? It's simple. We open another window. We start the UV editor. Then we go to edit mode, select everything, press U, and then unwrap, because it's just a plane. You don't need to set seams for this one. And here you're gonna delete the whatever image is over there, and it's gonna come like this, which is not very useful. It's better like when you're working with, originally it's just a plane and it's just bent because it's been simulated with the cloth. So to fix this, all you have to do is pick maybe a face in the middle, pick the edges, right click, auto align all the sides of that face, align auto, then go to faces, select everything, and then make sure that this face that you align to be the set active, the way you do it is that you press shift, you deselect it, and then you select it. It's gonna be a bit brighter than the rest. Right click and follow active quads. And then you can just scale it. And that's as simple as it can get. The material, I'm just gonna check the scale. Yeah, that's fine. The material, we can open the shader editor. It's a simple material as well. It's just, let me see if you guys can see it. So technically, I'm not using this, not using the Principal B SDF for now. So it's just a checker texture with a white. Maybe let's do the white a bit less white, but not as green, but shouldn't be that clean. So adjust the white with a mapping that takes from the UV, because we're extracting we're mapping through the UV. If we can do it through generated, it's gonna be generated by Blender. You can do it by the normals. These are how the normals are facing. So it's the different vectors of that on the face. This is by the object, but we want the UV one. So this is for this one. Now for this one, we either can do it all in green, but let me first, this is too much. Let's reduce the saturation a bit. Let's increase the value a bit. It should be white, and let's go a bit towards the yellow instead of the green. Yeah. So this is this one. Before going into this, let's fix this as well. So let's go back into the UV editor. Let's check the tab A. So it seems a bit stretched because we already stretched this. We can just and unwrap it, and it seems fine. We can just rotate it by 90 degrees. You can go to UVs, and you can do, and there is a tool here. Let me check. There is a Magic UV. It's a free add-on that ships with Blender. You can go to the pack extension and then just pack the UVs like this. It's simple. You can affect if it's gonna affect the rotation, the scale. We're working here with a very simple shape. We're not gonna worry much about it. And then let's pick also a face. It doesn't have to be in the middle, but it's just what we're doing. So align auto, faces, all the faces, double shift click on this, right click, and follow the active quad, and just scale it. And you can see now that these are following much better. Let's do it for this, guys. You can see it's too small. So tab, yeah, select all the faces, select, press U, unwrap it, and then let's also fix this. Let's auto align. I don't think we need to flatten this out, actually. It's fine. Yeah, this is fine. It's already following the shape. And also the orientation is okay. So just an unwrap for this did the job, I think. So let's keep it like this. Let's move on here. Press A, U, unwrap, and that's it. So this is for these guys. Let's check for this one. This one, it's a bit different because it's just this small face like this. So I was thinking of assigning a different material for this one. So instead of this like patterned or checkered texture. I think I'm gonna go just for the green one. So let's open a new window in here. Let's go for shader editor. Let's deselect the material here. We cannot do that in edit mode, so let's get out of edit mode. Then remove the curtains. Make this as maybe green curtains, and we can just copy the hex of this color from here. Then we can go back to this one and just paste it here. And then what we can do for this to be quick, we can select this, press Ctrl L and link materials. So now this materials is assigned to all of these three objects. We can make it a bit brighter and maybe less saturation. Something like this, I guess. Of course, we can still do more things to this. We can like do we can just combine everything, join it, and then we can do some growth simulation to it, add some more textures, paint it better. But for the time being, this is just what we're doing right now. For these, I think I like the colors. I like that these are like just plain, not patterned like this or this. So it just gives it a different quality to that. So I think we're gonna move on. I'm gonna check my notes. So the next thing, I want to do water tank because we're almost like we're moving on and we're happy about moving on. So let's Google water tanks just so we can have a reference like always. Let me show you what I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna save it and put it somewhere in the end. It should be like this one. It's not gonna be as detailed, although we don't need this much. Let me check if my sound is coming in too harsh, maybe because the microphone is close today. Okay, so we need we need a vertical one. They all have the same approach where you have like just a cylinder a bit beveled. It has like these, I think these are structural support for it not to collapse on itself, and then you have like this kind of opening in the middle. There is nothing special about it actually. So yeah, let's just pick this one because it's the one that's the clearest maybe. I'm just checking if this opens up more options, more variations. I don't think so. Let's just save so we can reuse it. We cannot save this. I'm gonna screenshot it. New. Just pick this one up. All right, let's save it on the desktop. Tank. For now, we don't need this one anymore. Let's go to image editor, open an image from the desktop. From the desktop, it's called tank, and this is it. That's it simply. Let me clean up my other monitor so I can see what's happening. It's refusing to move. Close window. All right. Let me make sure that you guys can see it. It's behind my face. So this is the water tank we're gonna be working with. So let's make it a bit wider. You know what, let's finish the water tank before worrying about more things. Let's press the period so we can make it the center. Let's remove the shader editor. We don't need it right now. Let's save. All right, let's think about this. First, edit mode, edges. Pick all the edges. Control B, bevel. First before Control A. Let's do a Control A and apply the scale and the rotation. Then let's bevel a bit. You know what? Let's go to this mode. Instead of random, let's keep it at material. Yeah. Let's add some more details in here. Then let's add some line cuts, bevel these. Let's go to the custom shape and let's see if we can affect the shape. So what I usually see them doing, let me see, what should we do? We are like seams, harden normal, clap, overlap. So what they usually do is, maybe it shouldn't be done on a flat faces, I guess this is my mistake. So let's keep it at super ellipse. And let's keep it at 2, just like this, because this is not working. They have presets, I think. Yeah, nothing is working. Even if we add more segments, change the shape, nothing is happening. Change the depth. Yeah, all right, forget it. Let's go back here. Change the width, that's too much, maybe something like this. And now let's extrude, right click, let's go extrude. Let's pick the faces, extrude along the normals, something like this. Yeah, that's fine. Let's pick these rings, maybe bevel them. They're not beveling. Let's see why. It should be a smaller bevel. Let's make the shape at 0.5. Yep. It could be too much. It could be too much. So instead, let's scale this outwards instead of messing around with these small ones. Alt Z, 3, left view or right view, whatever. Then in the top view, 7, scale. All right, let's change the medium point, maybe scale bounding box center. Yeah. Something like this. Now right click, set origin to geometry. It's looking fine. Then that's thinking about it. Let's delete this face, pick these edges, Ctrl F, grid fill, go to the top view. Let's try to find the proper offset, the proper span. Yeah, that's good. Now we can pick these 4 faces, go to proportional editing, pick the sphere one, press G, make it smaller, make it on the Z only. That's not good. Yeah, that's not good. No bueno. Okay. You know what? Let's just fill it normally, and let's just bevel it like this. All right. So I think what I'm gonna do something different. So I'm gonna pick these faces, all of these faces. I'm gonna shift D on the Z axis. There is no need to separate it right now. I'm gonna pick all of that. I'm gonna remove proportion editing. I'm gonna scale it down. I'm gonna pick all of these edges. I'm gonna bevel that till maybe here. Then I'm gonna scale this on the X. Something like this. Yeah, that's good. Let's pick all of these faces and let's delete them. Then I pressed on the view layers, which is always a bad idea. Then we're gonna just try to snap it. So turn on snapping, its vertices, the closest, we'll see what will happen. G, C, that's it. Now we can select everything, press M by distance. That should have done the job. And you know what? Just give me a second. I don't like this shape, even though it's fine. Let me bevel it again. But this time, let me see if I can affect a bit. The shape of it. This is okay. That's fine. Here the custom will work. Alright, we don't need any of this, of course. I think this linear is actually good. It's actually a good idea. But it needs a little bit. Let me see if now we scale this on the X. Yeah, that makes a bit more sense. Okay. So 3 faces, delete. Now vertices. This is the active one on the Z. A, M by distance. Anyway, I can always pick it and scale it up if I want to at this point. It's just about like making sure that the shape is correct. This is the most important part. And then we need to select this and probably we'll have to first bevel this edge. But now the beveling should be super ellipsed normally. The width should be something smooth. On it for all of these segments. It's not working. Maybe it's too close. What if we just scale this a bit and slide it down, removing the snaps. So sliding seems to be not respecting the topology. So let's do it ourselves. Should press shift just to make sure. All right. So ring, right click, extrude along normals. You know what? We shouldn't extrude along normals. We should just extrude faces. But we should extrude them. Is it Alt S? Is it extrude, right click, Alt S? Still along the normals. I want to just extrude along the X and Y. Loop tools. There's an extrude somewhere here. Not the loop tools. The mesh tools, I think. I have no clue. Alright, let's just extrude along the normals for now. It's not gonna show much. And then, you know, if we just scale it on the Z, and then if we take this edges and then maybe move them down on the Z axis, something like this, and maybe scale it outwards a bit. So yeah, that's the start of the water tank. Now, we need to create this thing. Okay, so I think the way to do it is to do one side and then do polar array instead of like worrying about all the sides at the same time. Because there's a, I'm not sure if this is respecting, I guess it is. I'm not sure if this is just like linear or if it is following the topology. So you have here one cut and here one cut. So this is where this this water tank is, the center point is somewhere in here. I didn't draw it properly. But again, like we have these and these. Let me do some more checking just to make sure that we can see this maybe from different perspectives. Let's bring it here. It seems to be straight actually. It seems to be straight, always straight. Let me see. Yeah, it is straight. It's not following any topology or anything. Now the question becomes how? So again, we're learning together. So I'm gonna keep a copy in here. I'm gonna go Alt-Z. I'm gonna delete. But before deleting, we need to cut this and like this. And on the bottom as well, we need to cut it like this and pressing L next to the K. So at that, then let's pick all of these. I just want to worry about one side. This is what I'm trying to do. All of these. Hey, I thought, what's this? So this is something from the inside. We don't need it. Then what we can do is we can pick this, press Shift S, cursor to selected, right click, convert origin. Origin to 3D cursor. Then what we can do is we can create an empty, anything. Let's turn on extras just so we can see it. Let's create some other empty. Let's do a plain one. Let's make it smaller. Then I think we can do an array, not an armature, an array where we remove the relative, we do an object offset, we pick that object, and then we rotate that object by, is it 90 degrees? It's 90 degrees. Then we go back here, let's do it 3 times, and should we add a weld? Just so it welds the corners. Let me check. I guess. You guys used to swim in these too. Hey man, over here. Alright, so let's fix the topology here. That's funny. So we just need to worry about one side now, and I guess this is what we need to worry about. It's something that's gonna go here. So it could be something like this, but that should be straight. Let me see. Angle constraint. Okay. And maybe cut through. I'm just reading whatever there is provided by the tool. And then maybe we can... That's gonna mess up everything. That's gonna mess up everything. You know what? Let's try to do something else. Let's Shift A, add a cube. Just wanna try to understand what's happening in here. So let's scale this by something. Move it up on the Y. Scale it. And then move it up on the Y. I just wanna see what's happening. I don't know what I did. Let's try again. Scale everything. So I can just model this one and then Boolean, or I can shrink wrap it. Like, there are different ways. I just want to see if I can do it from the existing topology. It's just a personal challenge. So scale on the Y. So it seems that if I connect these 2 points, I should get a straight line. Let's see if we can do this. Or at least it's gonna look like it is a straight line. So it's good enough for me, actually. So we're gonna connect this. Let's double check again. Get out of the tool. Move it on the Y again. Alright, so it seems to be one of these. Okay, so let's pick 1 and 2, and then we can... I know we cannot fill it, but we can do something like this. But it's conforming to the geometry. It is not... Okay, so when I do it on the top view, it's doing a better job. Alright. Now what? Now what we can do is we can pick these edges and decimate them. Then we can pick that edge, slide it downwards till here. We should be doing the same on this side, actually, but instead of doing this, I think what we need to do is... I think we should do a double array. So what I'm saying is I can do it just here, then I can do an array till this side, or like some sort of a... Yeah, an array, and then I'll do another array where I do this four arrays. Alright, so I'm talking nonsense. Let me show you what I mean. So if I cut this in here, right? And then if I cut this in here, on the bottom part, in here, not that. Is it this or this? It's none of these. So on the bottom, you know what? We can just remove this. We don't need it. Right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick all of these, press C so I can just paint them, and I can delete them. Then we cannot... Where is the empty? Yeah. Right. What do I need to do first? I need to mirror this. I need to mirror it on this axis So how to do this? Let me see. So if we mirror, let's hide, let's put it before the array. Let's hide the array just to see what we're doing. Yeah, so now if I mirror this, so I have this mirror, but I think we need to mirror on this object. We rotate that by minus 45, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, it should be minus 45. And then we need to go here, we need to merge, and we need to bisect also, not just merge. So now we have this right in the middle. And now we can just add an array on top of all of that, but that array will require a new empty. So let's just, okay, let's recreate the array, recreate the empty, make it something else. You know what? Let's delete this. Let's Shift A, create a new empty. Let's make it maybe arrows. So this is for the array, this is for the mirror. Then we can go here, we can say we want the array to be following this guy, but we need to turn on the array so we can see it. Now if we rotate this by 90 or minus 90, and now we have to only worry about this, and it will apply to everything. Okay, so first we did the mirror on the first empty, we flipped it by 45 degrees. Then we did an array, and then we only have like a quarter, I think, or maybe less, 1/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's only 1/8 of the whole thing to worry about. And then we weld, just to make sure that all the seams are welded. And then we can just extrude on the Z like this. Scale on the Z as well by 0. G on the Z upwards. I don't need this anymore. This is looking fine. It's looking good actually. What do we need to do? We need to remove the mirror and the weld from edit mode, and we need to delete these faces. So 3 Q linked faces. Let's kill these guys. Also, we don't need this. Okay, let me remove the wireframe a bit. Let's do shade auto smooth. Let's go to object data normals. Why are we having this? Let me see if we can see this in different views. Can we see it in the render? That's the question. It shows a bit. Man, clicking on the view layers is the worst thing that can happen to you. Let's remove this. Yeah, it's looking good. Stop pressing 1. So if you press 1, you kind of activate the view layers and it hides everything. So for some reason, this welding in here is creating a hard seam. And I guess, I don't know if it's showing in the stream, but I don't know, if I zoom in, you can see like there's a clear line here. Sorry, not here, here. So I think if we fix the welding a bit, it's not about the welding. 0.01. What if we do a merge here in the array? Yeah, that's better. So with or without, yeah, that's looking good. All right. Next, the next is a bit easier. We're almost done. Just should we apply everything and just move on or not? Let me see. So now, okay, like this, so you see what we're talking about. So what we want to do is just create like a the circular thing. I can merge everything and just insert the face and it will be done. But I'm not sure if I want to lose, you know, all of this. But first, that's 0.001 maybe. All right, so maybe this is the weld that's doing this. Yeah, the weld is messing everything up. Should we remove it completely? Nope, we cannot remove it completely. Should we add a weld or a merge here? Trying to figure out the best way to get a clean topology without messing everything up. So do we need the weld? We don't need the weld. Okay. So the thing is, what I was saying is, we only have this as topology at this point. We don't have more than this. Actually, you know what? I think. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but I have an idea to maybe solve this. Okay, we need to pick this guy, and if we press 7 to go to the top view, we are on top view. If we press the period button and then we say from 3D cursor, and we can rotate this and bring it here. How much are we rotating by? -5. So let's rotate by -5. -5. -5. Right. Again, let me try the Boolean option first. Let me see if I can preserve all of my stack of modifiers. And do I really need them? I don't know. Maybe. Let's keep them for now. Maybe for the beveling and stuff like this. So let's Shift A, create a cylinder, scale it by a lot. So maybe it's gonna be 0.05 by something like this. Yeah, that's probably it. Then we're gonna move it on the Z by a bit. Then let's add a Boolean. Let's pick the cylinder as the object, and if we hide it, scale it up, then I think the issue is we don't have this as a closed object. Let's fix this first. So let's go into let's pick all of these edges, go to the bottom view like this, extrude edges like this. Doesn't really matter, just somewhere in the middle, and then just merge at center like this. Pick that point in here, turn on snapping, and just do something like this. So now, should the Boolean work or not? I'm not sure. The difference. Let me see. What about the face orientations? Wait. So it's not working. You know what? screw it. Let's not waste so much time. Let's just convert this into a mesh. So now we have everything's fine. Let's merge by distance. Something really small, just to make sure that everything is glued together properly. Yeah. Remove the first orientation, the faces orientation. Let's Control Shift B. I think we can do something. Not everything, man. Not everything. Or we can just insert the faces here. Insert something like this. And then, you know what? Let's do something else. Let's delete these faces. I'm gonna try something else. Working with this kind of cylindrical shape is a bit new to me. Let me see if I can figure out a way. This looks fine, but insetting this would be a mess. Like this, all the topology is connecting here, which is great. But I'm not sure, like for this one you can insert because we're gonna hit so many issues. All right. Nope. Let's move on. Again. Fill it. Insert it. Let's just move on. Once. Twice. Extrude down on the Z without the shift tab. Delete this face. Pick these faces. Let's make sure Alt Shift S, I think. Alright, let's pick these. Alright, before. Okay. Alright, before doing this, let's pick these edges and let's Alt Shift S. Alt Shift S. I'm just trying to make them more round. Alright, it's not working. It's not working. Edges. Mesh. Should be somewhere in here where it says something like make sphere or spherify or something like this. Okay, I'm gonna add like more geometry just for the sake of more geometry for now. And then I'm gonna merge all of this at the center. And now, let me see, Alt Shift S, it's not working. It's moving a bit, but not how much I wanted to, so let's try again the Boolean thing. I'm sorry, trying to figure these things out. Scale upwards, Control A, apply, scale, and maybe now if we add a Boolean that should work. Probably. Yeah, that worked. And this is a better cylinder than the other one. Yeah, that looks much better. And now we can apply this. And instead of having these guys, because these are not good topology, let me delete this and this guy. Why aren't you looping? Faces. All right. Distance. So it's not. Why is it the first orientation? It's not looping, and I think it's because of these are not attached. Like we can clean this up actually. So I think, you know what? Let's just clean this up properly. That's gonna be at last. That's gonna be very boring, by the way. So what we want to do is just make sure that all of these are meeting with the cylinder vertices and not by themselves, you know. So just merging stuff. Last. Merge at last. Merge at last. I'm pretty sure there's a better way. But this is what I know. I'm not sure why we didn't end up with a perfect cylinder in the end. Yeah, maybe, yeah, because we messed it up, it's fine. So the thing is, this is like when we, this is not a perfect circle, of course, because we introduced this edges and this kind of messed things up. That's fine. What else? Here at last. Here at last. Where else do we have? Everything here is connected now. Yeah. So now we can just scale it as much as we want. We can even, not sure if we can delete it, and we can kind of fill it. So now we have a clean edge. That's much better. So now we have a perfect cylinder. That took some time. So now let's insert once, insert twice. Now we can extrude down, and then we can pick faces, and now we can extrude upwards. Yep. Move it down. So without the wireframe, now that looks good. Why did this move? Top view. Okay, so the extrude in here, for some reason, did not abide by the constraint. So sometimes the loop, like I think it's not working because you have to select the face, then you have to select the edge, Alt and select the edge. This is where you decide the loop goes. Like if you select this edge, you loop like this. If you select this edge, you loop like this. I learned this like a million years ago, and it just came to me right now. Now we need just to bevel this. Something like this. It's fine. And we need to buffet all of this thing. So let's just pick them up. Should we just do control? Yeah, the control is doing the job. Sometimes it does something like this. Man, relax, chill. So here till here. And now we can bevel this a little bit. Just make sure that this is at 0.5. Now this looks good. And we need to put on the cap. That's also easy. Let's see if we have some details for this cap. It has some details in here at least, but not all the time. Sometimes it has something like this, just so you can have a place to hold and drag. Sometimes it has like indents. Let me see what I can do. Let's see what we can do. So let's go for the side, Shift D, and then move it up. P to separate the selection. So we have this. Let's set the origin to geometry. Okay, so I think we can do it as one piece without doing any arrays or anything like this. So let's Ctrl A, apply the scale, Ctrl A, apply the rotation. Let's pick all the edges, extrude them down on the Z. It can be a bit bigger. Something like this. All right, let's do it again. Scale on the X and Y. Don't press the view layers tab. Then what we can do, extrude on the Z, Alt S or Alt Shift S to scale evenly, or just scale, I think. Something like this. And then let's extrude a bit. Also scale like this. Why is it scaling from? I think it's scaling from the cursor. I think we're gonna do it some medium point. Yeah, something like this. Move it down a bit. Add a loop cut in here. Scale it also. So now we have all of this. And what I was saying is, if we pick these 1, 2, 3, 4, and then whatever is facing this one, try again. Okay, so let's deselect everything, Alt A. So go to the top view, let's start here. So this is our first target. Then this is our second target, this is our third, and this is our fourth. All right. They usually do scale, they do like a little bit of an indent here. But not like this. Maybe it should be something like this. Yeah, probably. Yep. And now if you just apply a mesh smooth, but we need to preserve a bit the geometry. Okay, that's better. And then maybe what we can do is we can bevel these guys. Should be still not showing a lot. What if we, I think it's Alt C, but to increase the sharpness of these. Still not working as I'm expecting, I told you. So let's focus on just one, and then maybe we can just array it. That's fine. Let's pick maybe this side. All right, let's hide the subdivision for a bit. Let's do something like this and something, or maybe, yeah. Let's not mess everything up. Let's do it something like this, like that. Or before doing this, maybe we cannot add a loop cut. Okay, so let's dissolve these, and dissolve. Oh, let's keep them. Okay. Something like this would work. You see. And then if we kill that face and this face, and then nope. All right, let's rethink it. G on the Z. So the thing is, we need some more definition here. All right, so let's do it something like this. Let's insert this. Let's insert this whole thing. We don't want to mess. Okay, you know, let's delete that face first. And let's just, instead of like worrying too much about this, let's just push these more to the inside. So let's just scale more. This. Still not doing the job. And now, what happens if we increase the mean on these guys? Okay, none of this is working. Okay, let's have a different attack plan. Undo. All right, let's bring this back outwards. So scale, bring it back to the outside. And then G on the Z, bring it back to the outside. Let's delete this face, of course. Let's remove this. Or you know what? Since we fucked this thing up, let's retry. Alright. Extrude on the Z. More bevel. Something like this. Let's play a bit with the shape. Something like this, and maybe. Alright, then let's keep on selecting everything and scale something like this, move it down. Then scale this inwards. Okay. Then let's kill that face. Let's solidify. Like that. And now what we should be able to do, let's apply the solidify. Now, since the interior of this is the thing that's gonna rotate around it, now I can just manipulate these guys without worrying too much about it. So now if I scale on the Y or on the X, should I go to the top view? I should pick these guys. Okay, instead of scaling, let me bring this out like this. And let me scale this on the X, something like this. Now if you add a subdivision surface, nope. Okay, you know what? let's do something easier. Let's pick these edges. Now that I remember this, I think we can do this much easier. Let's bevel it. Don't really care about this. Let's just extrude it, including this. And that should be enough, actually. Yeah. Sorry about that. I was just trying to do something that I don't really know how it looks, actually. So this was the issue. And let's just position this differently. And there you go. Here we have a water tank. Let's join it. Let's pick this point, put the cursor in here. Let's right click, set the origin to geometry. Then let's move it to the center of the project. Let's add it into collection. Let's call it water tank. And now what we can do is we can hide it. We can turn everything back on. Go up here, and these we don't need anymore because we applied all our modifications, all our modifiers. Now we can cursor to selected, Shift A, and just bring the water tanks here. So this is one. Let's add a couple more. Let's add maybe 4. Shift D on the X. Alright, does this look good? Kinda. Of course, they shouldn't be this well oriented. And maybe we could add a couple here as well. Just make sure. Of course, we can still add more details. Like it still has like the entrance of the water, the output of the water, but we're not gonna do water piping. I think it's too much, so we shouldn't worry about that a lot. All right, let's put these guys somewhere here. Yeah, that looks good. Thanks, man. I'm sorry about this. It just takes time to figure these things out. So we finished the water tank. I wanted to add some bolts to the, let me see if like yesterday I downloaded, if you go to edit preferences, there's something called in the add-ons, there's something called bolt factory. Yep. And there's something called mesh tools. Edit mesh tools. That's weird. I already saved these guys. I don't know why they didn't save. So let's go again. They usually should save by themselves, so I'm gonna save it again. All right, so this is the initial satellite. Like all of these satellites are just, let me go to a different view. So all of these satellites are just instances of this one. So if you want to work on it, it should be somewhere in here. But you know what, before doing all of that, let me just, since we're talking about collections, let me call this water tanks so it can be cleaner. Add everything in it. So now we have all the water tanks in one collection. Okay. We don't need this anymore. Let me open my OBS again just to make sure everything's running fine. All right. So there should be an easy way now, since we have this bolt manufacturing, bolt factory. If you add my cursor to the selected, Shift A, there should be bolts. They're too big, they're huge. Oof. All right, that's fine. But it has lots of presets. I've never used any of these before. So it should be something like 1 centimeters, maybe. Oh, that's a lot. So you can change which type of bolt you need. That's not really important, actually. Wow. All right. Okay, that's a lot of information. Okay, so instead of playing with all of these now, I'm just gonna scale. Honestly, that's too much to think about. I'm gonna rotate this on the X by minus 90. I'm gonna scale this by another 90%. Scale it by 50%. It's still too big. It should be something like this. I'm not sure if this will show. I just wanted to try this. Alright, let's isolate this just so we can see what we're doing. So this is fine. Let me move it somewhere here. Let me rotate. Doesn't really matter, actually. Let's add it to the collection of the satellites. Let's add it to this one. And let's just duplicate it like this. And then let's just Shift D on the Z axis, something like this. Let's rotate it and just let's give them. I think I do have a chrome material somewhere. So let's pick the chrome material and then let's pick 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll add link material. It adds something, even though from far away, and it just applies itself to all the other instances. So this is done. Concrete pile and the sidewalk. Okay. Now I wanna add a sidewalk for the building because this is the road. It should have some sort of a buffer between the roads. So what we wanna do is select everything except for this and just move it upwards by maybe, say, 15 centimeters. Now we can just pick this, go and just select these guys, separate the selection, just extrude it, and edit view, select everything and extrude by 15 centimeters. All right, we need to do some cleanups to this. Just let me have a look what's happening. All right, so first things first. Here we have some car, like the cars needs to go up, so this needs like maybe some sort of a ramp. Okay, so what we should do is we need to add something in here, something in here. We just need to push these edges down like this. Now this is pushing everything with it. It might, you know what? Why not? You know what? I have even a better idea. Let's just pull the whole thing down like this. So instead of like perfect sidewalk, or instead of all of this, let's insert everything in here. Let's insert everything in here. Okay, first, let's apply transforms. The scales actually. Let's insert something like this. And now we can pick all of these edges and we can pull them down like this. And then maybe we can push this down a bit more. And we can push this down a bit more. So like everything else, nothing is actually 100% clean, or like it shouldn't be. This is just an old place. Shade out of smooth for this one as well. So I'm just killing this kind of separation between the sidewalk and the roads and the building. We can add some curbstones, like in some places, like maybe in here we can add some curbstones. I don't know. Let's see. We can raise this thing back up again. We can keep this like on a slanted, and this can be like on a flat surface. That's fine. But for the time being, this is more than enough. The second thing that I wanted to do is these poles. I'm gonna duplicate this. I want to add like some sort of a concrete mixture to fixate these poles in the floor. So let's go to the modifiers, delete the array. Let's go to this view, the solid view. Let's scale this a bit. Sure, this is the center of everything. Let's scale it kind of like this. Let's see, why are we lagging again? Okay, we should be fine. Alright, so what I want to do, either we can do like a plate, but it's not gonna look nice. Instead, I was thinking of going for like a concrete mixture. And to do this, I was thinking maybe to go into sculpt mode, press T, bring this back. Is it R to bring the, press R for the remesh, Control R to remesh this thing. Maybe this is where we can use the pen. Let's just press F, S for the smooth brush, increase Shift F to increase the strength. It has some sort of a stabilizing stroke that we don't need. Let's just smooth this whole thing a bit. Let's bring the grab brush. I just wanna make it a uniform shape. So what they usually do is they just put concrete around these poles just to fixate them in the floor, but it doesn't look like this. So we should be careful for it not to look super weird. All right, so let's push this downwards a bit. Bring this down. Go to sculpt mode. Has to be a bit subtle. Shouldn't be too obvious. Yeah. Just about navigation now. I still have 10 minutes streaming before I have to stop. Yeah. So it's kind of something like this. Yeah, that's kind of a better connection. Not sure why we're back to lagging. We were doing fine. Let's go to the graph editor, make sure to select everything. We don't have the timeline. Select these, delete the keyframes. Did we turn on the... Let me see. So the main wheel should be disabled. The main water tank should be disabled. The main satellite should be disabled. The main AC is disabled. The AC compressor cables are fine. Okay. I don't know why. All right. So let's apply this thing. To all of these guys. So Shift D, bring it here. J1 period. Just making sure that it shows in everything. Let me rotate it a bit just to create a little bit of randomness. It can be pushed a bit to the outside. All right, great. Let's go to sculpt mode. There's a bit of a bulge here that I don't really like. And you know what? Let's do something here. Let's go to the edit mode. All right, these should be on the same level of scale. Push down. Let's add an edge here. Upwards a bit. Then let's pick these faces and then let's extrude. Should extrude along the normals? No, it shouldn't. So let me see. Mesh tools. Face offset, fillet, vertex. I've never used mesh tools before. I've seen it yesterday in a tutorial. It looks interesting. Extrude individual faces, extrude along normals. Okay, so let's do it once. Shift R. Do it twice. Let's pick these faces. And let's extrude down. So what this means is you kind of have like a floor pole supporting this, but this is too much. So let's go to this view, push it much down. And let's make that whole thing a bit smaller. First, let's scale this like this. Then let's add this. Let's add. Yeah, let's add this. Let's scale the whole of this thing like this. Again, it's just a small detail that makes a difference in the bigger context. Sculpt mode. This, like this. Perfect. All right, let's go to the top view. You know what? Let's pick this guy. Shift D inside the edit poly. And now let's bring the sculpt tool. So we did two. Actually good that they are going inside the ground in different shapes, because it adds a bit to the randomness. Let's make the brush bigger here because the whole thing is under the floor. And in here. And probably what we should do is we need to not sure if this one to bring it here a bit. Okay. This kind of makes a bit more sense now. All right, next, the sidewalk, the concrete under. Let's do the last thing for today. I just want to make like all this sign. I just want to separate between this sign and this sign. It's one way of doing the signs. This is one detail where you can do like a box, like a metallic box, and then you can maybe stretch some fabric, some plastics, some plexiglass, whatever you want you can do. And another way, which was a bit an older way, you can actually see the frames and it's just all metallic. It's another interesting way to do it, but like for these old shops it could be done like this. So what I want to do is I want to go to the top view, double G, go double G to the inside, double G, yo, double G to the inside. Why not? So go back to the top view, double G to the inside, and then let's push it a bit to the outside. Then let's add some thickness for this, something like this. So this is technically where the sign is, and the rest. So let's separate this. So P, separate the selection, pick this face, fillet, object mode, go to the top view, double G. I'm doing the frames if you want. I'm not being very accurate, which is fine. Okay, this is the other one. Then let's add more control points in here. Let's bevel this. And now what we can do is just delete all of these faces, not edges. Didn't go through. So what we need to do is Control R, right click, Control R right click, Control R right click, and then should delete these guys. Yeah. And these edges. Then we need to press 1, Shift S, cursor to selected, right click, set origin to 3D cursor. And we should just add a mirror. On the Z axis, let's bisect also on the Z, let's merge. That's fine. Now let's convert this to a mesh. We can just solidify. Alt H. Check. Where did this go? Alright, so it seems that I didn't separate this face before deleting stuff. So let's do it again. Okay. Okay, H. So this face is inside actually. So that's P, separate selection. Add the solidify in here. I'm not sure why. I can't remember that I separated it. I'm not sure why. It didn't separate. Okay, so let's bring all of this together. Let's move this on the Y like this. Let's make sure that we can see whatever is happening in here. Let's move it even more. C to paint the selection, G, double Y, Alt Z, W, C, G, double Y. Yep. Yeah, that's better. Let's hide this. Let's do it again. Delete these guys. Now let's do whatever we did with setting the origin. Then we need to mirror on the Z. We can convert to the mesh, and then we can add a solidify. We can even the thicknesses. Something like this. That's fine. Alt H. Then let's move this on the double Y or on the double X. It should be on the double Y. It's fine. Shouldn't move it on anywhere. Now that can be maybe black steel. And maybe this could be something like that. And maybe we can do something like this. You should never underestimate what these guys can come up with. So let's make this bigger. All of this, let's push it down. Push this up. Scale this. Don't scale anything. Let's just move it like this. We can even let's set the origin to geometry. I can even rotate it a bit on the Y like this. Then we can move it something like this. Just a bit more details of the mass that building. It's too much. And maybe these also are not needed. Just remove them. They're just adding some unnecessary complexity, to be honest. If we split these faces, how will the Solidify react? Just let me see. Right click, split. Yeah, that's more like it. So what was happening, it was kind of converging in a weird way in here. Now when you split it, it's just one face that it knows how to extrude. Okay. I think that's it for today. Right. That's it for today. We did the water tanks, we did the curtains, we added some sort of a sidewalk. It's still not finished. I still want to add some more things. So I was thinking maybe of reintroducing a bit the curbstones in here. Maybe here as well. Yeah, like some sides are 4-car entrances, but some other sides are more about the sidewalk aspect into this. Yeah, that's nice. And yeah, we did a lot. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching later, and thank you for sticking around, even though sometimes I don't know how to deal with things straight on, but that's how things go, like with this stuff. Anyway, thank you so much.